Seven Podcast Show. It's the Seven Podcast Show. Take yourself, enjoy our own. It's the Seven Podcast Show. It's the Seven Podcast Show. It's the Seven Podcast Show. Take yourself, enjoy our own.
Good morning. Who wants to explain the World Series to me last night? God, I hate it that I actually started enjoying the baseball. I started watching like in the 7th or 8th inning. I can't remember, but I just remember I turned it on and the guy's like, wow, if you're just tuning in now, you missed a lot. And that really bummed me out. First Grand Slam ever in the World Series. Ever. Wild. That must have been cool. Audience got a real treat, huh? Crazy. What was the deal with the guy? What was the guy with the pitcher at the end, Van Bueller, whatever his name is, Van Heuler? In his first of all, the guys did horrible interviews at the end. I don't know if they were in shock or what was going on, but for some reason they didn't their opportunity to shine, they didn't take it. But what was his deal? They asked him about his pitching, and he said he wished he would have been in better shape. Like, why wouldn't the pitcher for the World Series be in like perfect shape? Shouldn't he be in perfect shape? Did he mean injured? Or it sounded like, I don't know why, but it sounded like he was like out of shape, like cardiovascularly out of shape. And like, why do you need to be in good cardiovascular shape if you're a pitcher? I don't know. I didn't understand it. But I will say this. That guy at the end, I don't know what I was watching, but even my wife noticed it. We were both sitting there. Even a girl noticed it. We were tripping on how much that ball was curving. I mean, you could just see it, right? I thought it was they kept calling it a breakaway pitch. I thought it was a slider. I thought a slider was when the ball's coming in high and then it goes down, but shit, what do I know? But man, I really enjoyed it last night. Sucks to say it, but I really enjoyed it. Maybe it was because I was watching with my kids and they were learning the game for the first time. But it was cool. It was cool. Congratulations to the Dodgers. I really wanted it to go. It would have been cool if the Yankees would have won and it could have got just played out until the end. Hard spin. That's what that pitch is called. Or you mean they spin the ball hard and that's why it curves? Wow, just like you called it. Plus 1,000 bet. So for every dollar you bet, you won $1,000. Anyway, yesterday I hate baseball. Today, I don't hate it. What can I say? That's what happens. You get a little appreciation for something. It's called a curveball. Oh, thanks, Jake. You look like Pat Vellner in that picture. Nate Atkin, pitchers don't have to be in an amazing cardiovascular shape, but it certainly helps. Managing the stress of high coordination movements has a lot to do with your ability to recover quickly. They were saying something. He gets $1 for every. He gets 100 for every dollar if it's 1 in 1,000. Okay. They were saying some stats that like the guy threw 38 sliders or 38 breakaways in a row or 38 curveballs, and for some reason that was some sort of record. A slider is thrown at a high velocity with a tight spin. Jesus Christ, that doesn't help me. Thank you, Mr. Rogers. Danielle blocked you and Dents. Oh, how come? Did you guys say something bad about her? Nothing bad to say. Miss Brandon. Does she do Rogue? Does she do Rogue? Rogue's coming up, huh? Someone told me that Brian and Patrick did a prediction show for the Rogue Invitational. Does that mean the events are out? What's going on here? Are the events out? I'm dying to know. If the events are out, I need to do a show. I want to do a show with the boys. Oh, I wonder if Will can make a Will, can you make a StreamYard backdrop for Rogue? I guess something Scottish. Something that fits with the Rogue motif. Is it motif? Rogue Invitational motif. Is that, did I say that right? Rogue motif, or do we say vibe? What is what's up, Blade? Hey. I was gonna try to go this year, but it's far as hell. I need to re-up my passport. I remember like a year and a half ago, Greg invited me and my family out to the Seychelles, and I didn't have passports for my family. We took care of that right away. I'm not letting that kind of shit happen again. Miko's Triangle. Oh, so it does look like there are some events. What's Miko's Triangle? Rogue presents. Is that Echo Bike, row on the erg, ski erg rest? Oh, pre-registration. Oh no, that's for the crowd. I don't see any events for individuals. Spectator workout, strong woman workout. I don't see anywhere on the schedule where it says CrossFit workouts. That's Saturday, November 9th. Do they have a theme? Do they have some sort of, I don't see anything yet. I wonder if they have any graphics for their stream. I'm going to get that premium stream this year. I got it last year. I guess they're going to have some sort of VR control. Introducing the new VR control room for 2024, an immersive streaming experience that puts you in the best seats in the arena. Enjoy the action from multiple VR camera angles or seamlessly switch between live views to customize your experience for each event. Watch the way you want whenever you want. I think, I don't know. The way VR works is they have a 360 cam, and then you can, but it's zoomed in, so it gives you the effect as you scroll around that you can move around in the 360, giving you the impression that, as opposed to showing you the whole 360 at once, it gives you control. So it's like 360 zoomed in. I think that's how that shit works. Why can't HQ offer the same streaming upgrade? I don't know. Do you want them to? Let's see how it works for Rogue first. Woo! I guess I was just brushing up on an article. I guess the Amish people are going to vote in larger numbers than ever this year in Pennsylvania. They didn't like the regulation being put on their farms from the old Dems, the party of regulation. And oh, that's some good Paper Street coffee. Damn. They didn't like the regulations put on them by the government this year, and so they're like, fuck that. We're voting this year. I saw buggies with Trump signs. Ugh, I love Danielle. They should stop fighting. I agree. I think I can't. My whole thing last night, I never got to the bottom of it. I can't tell how serious they're taking it. I think that I suspect my perspective is just so different than theirs. I have to guess it's because I have kids. I have to guess that. I hate to sound like a broken record, but I have to guess that. If you have kids and your kid's healthy, and someone calls you a fucktard on the internet, it doesn't really affect you so much, or it shouldn't. All you have to be like, is anyone diddling my kids? Nope, I'm good. I'm good. This person's been sending me DMs. It's really a trip. I think the person's name is Jeremy, and they've been sending me DMs, and they're the weirdest DMs. I don't even know why they watch the show. Like they send me a DM being like, it'll be like, do you really think Trump won the 2020 election? Or Look at this idiot drinking high fructose corn syrup, and it shows a picture of him with a McDonald's. Or what was the one they sent me today? They keep taking these little jabs at Trump. It's a trip, but there was one today. I'm trying to remember it. It's like, dude, listen. Someone in the comments on YouTube said it too. They go, "There's Sevon talking about trannies again." Listen, I live in a state where at 12 years old, they take away the rights for you to see your kids' medical records. It's okay for the schools to give your kids hormone suppressing drugs and begin them on transition and do irreversible damage to your kids hormonally for the rest of their life. You can't send your kids to school unless they take 72 government mandated injections where you can't get all the ingredients on these injections. The injections start at 6 months old. Every school has a sex flag in the front. They talk to your kids starting in the 2nd, 3rd grade about imaginary things like gender. Like if you don't, maybe this show's not for you if you don't understand that, like, I don't like that stuff. I'm not into hurting kids. Yeah, it's not a political show. Definitely not a political show. Oh, sorry. Injections start at 2 days old. Yeah. Thank you. They want to protect my kids from venereal diseases at 2 days old. It's like, hey, dude, like, this show's not for you. And it's not that I have anything against like, I like the way Kamala dresses, and I like her hair, and I find her attractive, and I like black chicks and a lot. And it's just the fact that I'm spun up because of kid shit. You know what I mean? I'm spun up, and God, I couldn't even fucking believe it. I couldn't fucking believe what I saw on Instagram yesterday. Look at this fucking shit. This is my hometown. This is one of the places I grew up. I lived in a unincorporated town called Pacheco, and it's right by this mall called the Sun Valley Mall in Concord, California. And growing up there, the biggest thing that ever happened there, and I used to go there all the time after school and walk around the mall with my friends and drink Orange Julius's and buy T-shirts from the Sun and Country or Town and Country store. And they had a fucking Macy's there, and they had a place that sold like Atari games and just shit like that. Like it was just a mall. It was like, and you just walked around and hung out, and they had a fountain and they had a Santa Claus, and it was a chill place. It was probably 27 miles from the mall to San Francisco. It was a cool suburb. There were still there were condos everywhere, but there were also fields you could ride your BMX bikes in. It was just, it was like a poltergeist neighborhood. And then I fucking see this. This happened at the fucking mall I grew up in as a kid. I can't even fucking believe this. This is a K Jewelers. Look at the employee right there. These guys have fucking hammers and they're breaking into the glass at the mall in broad daylight. I remember when, did you see that elevator? I remember when they put that elevator in. That was like huge. That it was crazy. Our mall got an elevator with like a glass.
Damn.
Look at a guy with a mullet. Did you see a guy with the mullet telling that lady, hey, you probably shouldn't stand so close and film that? Look at, there goes one guy. You can hear one guy say, come on, nigga, let's go. Did you hear that? Not fucking believe that's happening at the mall by my fucking old house where I grew up. It's fucking nuts. I remember that floor as a little kid. I would jump around on that floor and like not step on the cracks. Look at this person puts this post is ridiculous. How dare you blame the Democrats and not the shopping mall's lack of security? Why weren't the bystanders running around looking for help? We have become so apathetic and steeped in blaming everyone. The party in power aren't our parents. This is our responsibility. Like what? Let me see what these comments say. Well, Shelley, mall police can't do anything because they will get sued. Yeah. Wow. Someone wrote, Shelley, are you kidding? Because California passed a law that you can steal anything as long as the value is less than $1,500. I think that's the amount. You cannot be prosecuted. And it's the misdemeanor. Most police don't ever even respond to calls. Shelley, because California law allows stealing. We live here and have a retail store. It's insanity. Shelley's from London, England, shows she knows firsthand the problems we have with our DAs and smashing grabs. Shelley, you should be ashamed. You want to put the blame on the mall security? The Democratic Party in California no longer keeps its citizens safe. Vote blue. Yeah, that has to be sarcasm. No, Eddie, my followers are not stupid. Man. So crazy how these Democrats ruined our state. And that is Democrat country. I thought it was less than 750. Blade says less than 950. Either way, it doesn't even matter. Just imagine being a mom and pop shop and someone steals $500 worth of shit from you. Just pick a number. Make it $300 and 10 different groups of people come in and steal $300 each. Whatever it is. It's crazy not to protect small business. Any business. It's crazy. It's fucking nuts, man. I remember as a kid, this is the kind of shit you would see like in South Africa. They would show you like this shit happening in malls in South Africa, and I'd be like, or Brazil or Mexico, and you'd be like, what the fuck? People live there? God, we need to empower our cops. Oh my God, we need to empower our cops.
Get away from the store, baby. This is another.
Hey, dude, swinging hammers like that, tear gas, tasers, no questions asked, any resisting arrest, shoot to kill. Look at that. Legendary. Damn. I didn't even know anyone still went to the mall. They got a mall in my town now, and it in Santa Cruz, and it feels like you go in there and it's like 1950. Import the third world, become the third world. Well, that's a good line. Man. I thought that when the Key Bridge collapsed, I've driven over that 1,000 times. I thought stuff like that only happened in third world countries. Congratulations on the baby, by the way. It's embarrassing to see bystanders doing nothing. I mean, that one lady had a kid. That store owner is a lady. Those guys have sledgehammers. Yeah, these aren't imports. No, those are guys from, for sure, either Oakland or Richmond or Concord. It's crazy. Holy shit, it's crazy. I can't believe that's happening in my hometown. Man, I used to ride my bike there all the time. Yeah, I agree. What are they supposed to do? Those guys have hammers. I know. I wouldn't get near those guys. I wouldn't get near them. You pull a gun on those guys, what happens? I just don't think you should be allowed to do that at all by any means necessary. I'd stop those fucking dudes if I was if I was in charge of the law. Okay, I got a question for you guys. My spidey sense is going off with this. What is this real? Someone sent me this. I wanted to show you guys this yesterday. Is this real? What is going on with her stomach? Is her stomach real? For a delicious creamy strawberry shake with protein, try this recipe. How could how could a girl that big have that stomach? Is that Can you do something? Time to minimize the screen. What are you talking about? Steroids? Uh, I love a strong woman, but I'm not feeling that. Something just doesn't. Not sure anything in that is real. No way, that's airbrush. Okay, well, hold on a second. Hold on. So if you go to her account, look at it. Almost looks like there's fat on top of those stomach muscles. I can't figure out what the fuck's going on with her stomach. See this right here? Oh, abs moss fake. Yeah, what is going on with her stomach? She almost looks like a reptile, like a implants. Can you do that? Can you get stomach implants? Her arms don't match, meaning her arms should be thinner or leaner. Oscar De La Hoya got ab implants. Are you kidding me? Etching is a form of lipo. 100% implants. You can do anything these days. She's pregnant, Sevi. She's gonna get pregnant. She's gonna get pregnant. I'll tell you that. I wonder what that does do to your chances of having a baby. I just don't. Something's not right. Something is not right. I mean, maybe she's just a fucking genetic freak, right? It looks like something you would see on some steroidal cow or something. I think implants. I think he got them chiseled down medically. Scroll up to see who follows her. How do you do that? Up here? I don't know who those people are. Her body's, I mean, fuck. She just looks like a fucking pincushion. I guess this guy's putting it to her. That she speaks in looks like Spanish, and that doesn't look like anywhere I've seen. That doesn't look like the United States. Anyway, someone sent me that video, and I was like, "What the fuck? How can that? How is that stomach real?" So the tits are everything's just fake on it. Do you think she really knows how to play the guitar? All right. Pull up the De La Hoya and drag. I know a lady with a tummy tuck and an etching, and has a scar. This lady is showing a lot of lower with no scar. My guess is implants. So what do? It's like a it's like my my rock mat from Toe Spacer, they just slip abs under there, like a plastic sheet that and the skin falls and pulls against it tight, and it just makes it look like abs. Is that how that works? What do you mean implants? Mason Mitchell, crazy abs with those tits. I mean, the tits can't be. Contouring lipo first. Contouring lipo first. Isn't lipo really fucked up? Doesn't lipo remove fat? Aren't we born with a limited number of fat cells? And if you get lipo, it takes out those fat cells. And then if you get fat, the fat is stored in the remaining fat cells. I think that something like that happened to Gary Roberts and really fucked him up. I think he had like skin cut off and they cut off a shitload of fat cells. And then when he put on more weight, the only fat cells he had left were the fat cells around his organs. I think it really fucked him up. I think it's scary shit. Yeah. All right. Let me look up. Let me Google stomach implants. Stomach implants may refer to cosmetic procedure called abdominal implants or medical procedure called enterotherapy or gastric pacemaker therapy. It involves inserting silicone implants under the abdominal muscle to create the appearance of a defined six-pack. This procedure is often sought by people who have tried diet and exercise but are unable to achieve their desired results. The implants are permanent and patients can resume normal activities within a few days. Gastric pacemaker. Oh, wow. These are crazy. Oh, you know what's funny? Liver King pops up. Holy shit, this is crazy. Look at these pictures. The before and after pictures are nuts. Look at this guy was fat. So was this guy. Look at this. Ab etching, GQ. Look at that. Oh, look. Oh, yeah, here's a girl with him. That sucks that girls do that. That's crazy. Let me type in stomach implants. Oscar de la Hoya. You think he got them? He used to always look softer than you'd imagine a boxer to look. I thought he just got on TRT or something because his forehead got huge too. Huh. Wow. All right. I'm edging watching this. What happens when you get Brandon Lecoq? What happens when you get fat? You still have the abs. Oh, if anyone wants to sponsor Kill Taylor this week, we need a sponsor. We're always great to our sponsors. $500. This week's prize is $1,000. $500 from Vindicate, VNDKA.com. And then oh, you the man, Will. Fuck, Will's the man. He said he's already started working on the overlay for Rogue. That's awesome. Oh, Kamala and Trump are having rallies in Arizona today. I stayed up too late last night again. More Dexter. I'm really trying to catch up on all my man, it's a lot. I'm on season 4. I think I told you guys this. I told Hiller I was on season 4 of Dexter, and he told me it's the best season of any show in the history of television. Season 4. It's pretty good. I just got to the part where Deborah and Lundy get shot, and then the show was over. I did see the Trump garbage truck. Oh, that's what someone DM'd me too. They said, hey, the person goes, did you see what he said about Puerto Ricans? People listen differently than I listen. I didn't hear him say anything about Puerto Ricans. I heard a comic refer to Puerto Rico as a floating island of trash. I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos on Puerto Rico since that happened. When I say a lot, I watch like 4 or 5 or maybe 6. And man, they do have a serious fucking trash problem. Holy shit. They have a crazy trash problem. I also saw a video about Mexico's thinking about building something to compete with the Panama Canal. I guess separating the what's the ocean on the other side of Mexico? The Pacific and the Atlantic. I guess they're talking about building this. I guess they've started. They've invested $6 billion into it. They're going to build a rail that crosses the narrowest part of Mexico at 188 miles. That goes from the Pacific Ocean to the Atlantic Ocean. And there's going to be rail cars on it. So boats can just pull right up to those rail cars, unload all their contents, take it on train to the other side, and then put it on another boat on the other side waiting. And they said it could do, they plan on it doing 5% of the business that the Panama Canal does. That's a crazy cool project. Crazy cool. I guess they have a train now that does that, but it's like small, and I guess it sounds like the cartel has their teeth sunk deep into it. So they got to get probably some crazy security around that route, around that train route. Yeah, Andrew Stan, how quickly before the cartels take that over? Gulf of Mexico. That's the Atlantic side. No, Matt Burns, do you think it's going to cost $6 billion? No, it'll be but that's the initial investment they have. You're right. It'll probably be fucking, yeah, you're right. 20, 40, $50 billion when they're all said and done, right? So there's that. I felt bad yesterday that I left you guys on that note with that horrible story of that chick of those cops saving that chick mid-rape.
Oh, Utah, here's another fun one. So yesterday, 9/26/24, we reported that there was a Venezuelan gang involved in a shooting in Harriman, Utah. Local news and local police wanted you to think that it was just a group downplaying the severity of this gang going across the United States of America. This happened in Harriman, Utah, which is a very conservative town just southwest of Salt Lake City. But now we're finding out just a few days ago that just north of Salt Lake City, in a very conservative town called Kaysville, this happened. J. Luke Taylor said this: "It's not often I get into politics, but sometimes things hit close to home that force you to think more carefully about the things that matter most. Last week, while I was out of town for work, I received a call from my daughter at 7 a.m. When I answered, she said, 'Dad, I think I'm going to die,' in a tone that sent shivers down my spine. I immediately knew something was very wrong. After trying to understand what was happening for what seemed like an eternity, my son finally ran my daughter's Gab watch downstairs, where I heard my wife weeping to a 911 dispatcher on the phone. On Wednesday, the 18th, while my 2 older kids were in my kitchen getting ready for school, my daughter noticed a man in a black hood carrying a baseball bat over his shoulder attempting to break into my house through the back door.
This is a first-hand response of a man talking to his family while a Venezuelan gang breaks into his home in Utah. In fucking Utah. A Venezuelan gang in Utah?
He was wearing one black latex glove on his left hand and was making his way around the house to the other doors. The kids immediately ran upstairs to tell Erin, who was with a sleeping Benny in our bed, that someone was trying to get into the house, and without hesitation, she locked the kids in the most secure room in the house, grabbed the gun, and called 911 and ran downstairs. This man was high as a kite, out of his mind, and my wife witnessed him get into the outside detached garage as she had police on the phone. Response was excellent, and handling the situation was great. The police arrived just as he was sneaking back out of the garage and told him to put his hands
The police arrived. Thank God for the Utah police. And they got the guy.
In the air. He was cooperative. They finally arrested him at gunpoint after I had to listen over the phone. Never felt more helpless in my life, and my wife sobbed in fear of her life and our kiddos' lives. It turned out the man was here illegally.
Illegal Venezuelan gang member breaks into home in Utah. I can't believe this is the United States of America. I cannot believe that.
With no documentation. He had weapons in his pockets and bags filled with alcohol. Almost a week has gone by, and I'm still getting woken up several times at night to a jolting, on-edged wife who is experiencing night terrors.
I think that's a pretty significant crime. Home invasion. I think it's just called like burglary or robbery if no one's there. But I think if someone's home and you enter their home, it's called home invasion. And I think the penalty is like crazy. Crazy.
Whose brain hasn't been able to shut down since the event. There's about a million things I could say about what happened and the aftermath of what my wife.
Oh, thanks for posting about our story. Absolutely horrific. Oh, here's the chick. Oh, she was going to get railed. Wow. Crazy. Oh my God. Here's her actual story. This is the chick. Oh my God. This is nuts. Oh, she's so lucky. That guy was going to do horrible shit. Oh my God. I wonder if she's a CrossFitter. This is her gym. Oh, it's not working. Man, oh man. Baby. Oh, here we go. Here's a picture of her gym. That doesn't look like a CrossFit gym. Nuts. All right. Let me see these replies. Thanks for posting about our story. Absolutely horrific. So glad your family is safe. So sorry you had to endure that. Thank God you're okay. Goes out to you. Love goes out to you. Aaron is my cousin. I know someone who this actually happened to. It's infuriating. Where are the news stations? So very sorry for your terror. Yeah, where are the news stations? Get some lavender oil and breathe it in. Jesus. What a mess, guys. What a mess. She had a railing coming. Oh, here we go. Basically, look at that outfit. Has it coming? Oh, geez. Let me see. You guys are fighting now a little bit. They will just tell him to yeah, target the white suburbs. It's easy. Good point. Someone wears workout attire. They're asking for their home to get broken into. No, it's just listen. It's a Sevy joke. It's just listen. She's hot. That's all it was saying. Like that guy came in there for probably to like, you know, steal some guns and jewelry, and there was a hot chick in there. That's it. I'll joke. No fighting. Yeah. All right. No fighting. She's a sweet piece of ass. What are you gonna do? That's just the facts. That's just the facts. If she was from my what's that show called? My 600 pound. Hey, can fat people not get raped? Like if you weigh 600 pounds, like could you still get raped? I know it's a disgusting topic, but you would have to be able to roll up like 200 pound or 300-pound flap that covers the pussy. It's like a pussy guard. I can't watch that show. I won't eat for days. Yeah, people who send me those video clips of the giant fat people who are like they're so fat that they're like deranged. Their eyes are doing weird shit and they talk weird. I don't watch those videos. I'm like, I just can't. I just can't. It's like it might as well just be Holocaust footage to me. Yeah, just imagine having a 300-pound fucking skin shield over your pussy. That's crazy. That's definitely got to be something way inappropriate to talk about. Way inappropriate. That's tone deaf, very tone deaf of me. No, what's the word? It's very I hate it when he talks about reality. I'm not talking about big women, Julie. I'm not talking about like I like big women too. Chick got extra hungy on her, whatever. As long as it's evenly distributed to the tits and ass and everywhere and the gunt. But I'm talking about like a 600-pounder where they have like 300-pound of just fold hanging down to their knees. I ain't into that. And you need to. Like, I don't think I could. I don't think I'm strong. I'm fucking a pretty weak little man. I don't think I could fuck a chick like that. I don't know what in California they have these things called elephant seals. Elephant seals. They're at the Ano Nuevo State Park. Let me see. Elephant seals, California state parks. Let me see if I can find. I want to see if I can actually read it from their website. Elephant seal. Maybe I'll type in elephant seals safety. Keep at least 50 feet away. Be quiet. Don't touch the seals. It's illegal to touch them. Don't feed the seals. Keep dogs away. Don't use drones. Report violations. Shit. Let me see if I can pull up a picture of these elephant seals. Anyway, they have signs over. Do not set your kids on the back of the elephant seal. And although that sounds like just common sense, there are stories of people setting their their kids on elephant seals, and then the elephant seal rolling over and killing their kid. They're massive. They're crazy. They're so huge. Oh, look how cute that little baby one is. Look at the nose on that thing. Jesus. If you ever have a chance and you're in California, it's worth seeing them. You'll see them. When you go there, you can see them hump, and then you can also see them fight. You can see the males fight for the beaver, for the pussy. Yeah, look at here's a YouTube video.
Way, but it feels like you're in a completely different universe, and this is their world, and you just get to the G department.
Oh, she's hot too.
Each year,
Evolutionary
male access
intelligence.
food vocalizations,
Oh, this is from UC
and
Santa
how
Cruz.
this information is used during the breeding season from adult
Camera.
males.
Look how big
then
he
we
is.
did an in-depth-
Look how big he is. And people will go out there and set their kids on the back of one of those. Sean M., they don't even know how to fight. I know. Sloppy, right? Sloppy.
analysis of a subset of those individuals to
I think
listeners
that's like
to
probably
see
40
whether
or
or not
40
an
miles from my
individual
house.
experience
God damn,
with
this
caller
chick
in order
hot.
to know how to respond.
Looks like Rita from oh, her eyes blink at different speeds. Look at that. Her right eye blinks faster than her left eye. That's a good catch, Sebi. She whitens her teeth. Hi, Miss Beautiful Elephant Seal Professor. Would you like to take a field trip to go see the elephant seals?
To that individual, or if there's something potentially within moved away from the speaker, so basically males, and play them back those same calls.
Yeah, they're huge. God, she's hot. Professor, what's her name? Professor what? Let's see. Oh, here we go. Caroline Casey, Ecology and Evolutionary Biology. All of us marine biologists are hot. Oh. God, and the dudes you have to choose from just suck. Google elephant seal hitting a car. Really? Elephant seal hitting car. Videos. Oh my God. Wow.
This one belongs to a black bear, and these are found right here in California, but it's totally dwarfed by this one on Earth. Well, actually, this supergiant is anything but extinct. In fact, they're increasing in number. There's said to be over 150,000 of them, and the best place to see them is on the beach just over there.
Yeah, I think at my house.
Our elephants.
Wow. But yeah, that's not safe. That's definitely not safe. Right there. That's dangerous. Wow.
What tons?
Oh shit. Look at this. Wow. Good find, dude.
But when they do, they can really throw their weight around.
Oh, that guy's so bomb.
Up here on land.
Imagine that. Imagine being a female elephant seal. Off to vote. Vote early. It's too late. You're not. You're like voting on time now. All the love. Okay, bye. Take us with you in the car. What are you doing?
They're impossibly ungainly and out of place. But for these, all right, 3 times heavier than the females. He's been sedated. Here.
Imagine if your men were 3 times as big as women. Damn. All right. Already voted early in Florida. All right. Can we see who's winning already? Like, are they counting that shit up in some states? They are, right? Eli Crane was on the podcast. Here he is on the he was on the Sevon podcast. He gave me this thing, this bullet. He gave me a bunch of cool shit actually. I think this is from a 50 cal. Is that what that is? Someone know? It's a bottle opener. I think there's one in my kid's bedroom too. He's been doing some good work. I think he's a senator now. The real threat to democracy.
The fact when we voted on the SAVE Act, which would keep illegals from voting, and I think this is so important, I think it was only 5 Democrats voted to support it. Only 5 Democrats voted to stop illegals from voting in our election. And I think that's so telling and so important because I know you have people on all sides of the spectrum that watch the show. Explain that one to me. You guys have created and orchestrated a system that has allowed over 10 million people within 4 years to come into the country. And now your party is fighting to allow them to vote. And you call us a threat to democracy. And you have the audacity to talk about foreign intervention in elections. I don't know if I brought up the fact when we voted on the.
How is that possible? What's the justification? Part of me thinks there must be something he's not telling us. Someone explain that to me. What would be so I'll give you an explanation. Hey, I think illegals should be allowed to vote. If you're in the country, you should be allowed to vote. That's one explanation, right? You're here illegally. which means you're not registered in our system. You're not participating in our economy, our culture, our ecosystem in any way that's legal. How is it that illegal? How is there any legitimate argument to let illegal aliens vote? Bailey Walker, there could have been something else in the bill they didn't agree with, so that's why they didn't vote for it. Oh, okay. I'm gonna say that has to be it. That has to be it. There's no way someone is voting. Does he say the name of the bill?
The SAVE Act, which would keep
The SAVE Act. Let me look that up. The SAVE Act. The SAVE Act. What's in 5 things to know about the SAVE Act? Bipartisan Policy Center. Citizens already. Oh, here we go. I'll pull this up. Okay, let's see. That's good. I like that. That's smart thinking, Bailey. The House of Representatives will vote this week. This is old. This is from what's the date on this? This is from July 10th, 2024. House of Representatives will vote this week on H.R. 8281, Safeguard American Vote Eligibility. Both parties agree that voter registration should permit all eligible citizens and only eligible citizens to register and vote. Both parties agree that voter registration should permit all eligible citizens. Okay. Although instances of non-citizens registration and voting are rare, the SAVE Act's goal of ensuring that only citizens can register to vote is important. I don't know why they have to say it's rare. But there are easier, more cost-effective ways to improve voter registration that don't create a new barrier for eligible voters. Here's what you need to know about requiring proof of citizen to register to vote. Citizenship is already a requirement to vote, but it's not always the easiest thing to prove. The SAVE Act needs more time and resources to implement well. There are better ways like real ID and data sharing to improve voter list accuracy. The federal government should expand state access to federal eligibility data. State legislatures are making progress on citizenship and list maintenance. Citizenship is already a requirement to vote, but it's not always the easiest thing to prove. The SAVE Act introduces a documentation requirement for a law that has existed for the decades, the Illegal Immigration Reform and Immigration Responsibility Act of 1996. Arizona began requiring proof of citizenship to vote in 2004 after the Supreme Court ruled in 2013 that the additional documentation requirement violated the Voting Rights Act. The SAVE Act needs more time and resources to be implemented well. There are better ways like real ID and data sharing to improve voter list accuracy. Can only citizens get real ID? This doesn't say anything. It says at the bottom here, both Democrats and Republicans want voter registration process that allow all eligible citizens and only eligible citizens to vote. While citizenship is a requirement to vote, there are more effective ways to ensure the voter rolls include only eligible Americans and place the burden of proof on the state and federal government, not their citizens. They call this a bipartisan policy center. I wonder if it's really bipartisan. How much you want to bet it's not? Yep, definitely not. Anytime I see the word COVID, I don't think bipartisan. Voter ID needs to happen just like voting in person needs to. I know. I think I'm all for voting in person and paper ballots. Here's another one. This is just some crazy low IQ shit. This is Nick Shirley. I think this is in New York City. Girls in New York City. These are girls in New York City. Here we go. Brace yourself.
A lot of illegal immigrants that came into New York City and across America. Do you guys think it's right that illegal immigrants here in New York specifically get free housing, free healthcare, and free food?
I believe that regardless of who you are and your legality, that everybody deserves free healthcare, free food, and free housing.
She thinks everyone deserves free healthcare, free housing, and free food. I'm trying to think. That sounds like jail. Isn't that jail? Can't you go to jail and get that free housing? Is it free to go to jail, or do they charge you? Free housing, free healthcare, and free food. She thinks everyone, regardless of your legality, is that the word she used?
All 100% across the board.
Should we let anybody come into America?
Anybody that needs to be here and should be refugees, yeah.
Underneath the
Should anyone be allowed to come? Refugees and anyone who needs to be here.
Biden-Harris administration, there has been obviously like 12 million plus illegal immigrants coming to the country. Out of those 12 million,
How does Nick Shirley still swallow his words after talking so much? Hey, dude, stop swallowing your words.
400,000 of them were vetted, and 400,000 were vetted that turned out to be criminals. 13,000 were murderers, and 11,000 were rapists.
So 15,800 convicted of rape were still let into the country, and 13,099 convicted of homicide were still let into the country, even after we knew that. And he's like, what about those people? Do you think those people should be allowed to come in? Caller, hi. Hey.
Hi.
Hey.
How's it going?
It's weird when a girl calls in. A lot of girls calling in lately.
Oh. The gal that's talking about free food, free housing.
Yeah.
The moment
free medical. They have that at San Quentin in California at the big jail. They got that.
You cannot offer services that cost, those services cost money. They cost somebody money somewhere, right? So you cannot offer services that cost money free to somebody, because somebody has to pay for it at the end, right?
Right. Yeah,
when it comes full circle.
It's a total misnomer to say it's free. Yeah, of course. It's fucking, it's insanity talk. It's like when you say free college for everyone. It's like there's no such thing.
Right. There's no such thing as free. And at some point, somebody is going to have to pay for it. And who's ever going to have to pay for it in the end is going to suffer, and then is going to water down that product. Like, take healthcare for Canada, an example, right? They are always talking about free healthcare and how Canada gets free healthcare. The result is a completely watered down, broken system that is utterly disastrous, right? Healthcare in Canada is a complete joke.
Right.
You've heard people talk about, it takes me a year to get into a PCP. It's
a joke everywhere in the world except the United States, for the most part. That's like 99% true, because all those socialist countries fuck themselves.
Exactly. So I just wanted to throw that out there, that anything that costs money cannot be a free service to anybody, because somebody is going to pay for it in the end, and you're only going to get a completely watered down garbage product in the long run. That's all I got.
Right. Hey, what about this? Listen. I totally agree with Pat Lang, what Pat Lang is saying here. Listen what Pat Lang says. 13,000 murderers, 11,000 rapists were just let in. Almost seems like it's not true. It would be impossible to find out. Like, what he's saying is, it sounds like very rational to me. But then how did they let in 10 million people without making them take COVID tests or COVID vaccines when we all had to? They let the borders open, which doesn't, like, there's so many things about this story that don't sound believable. So why not just throw rapists and murderers in there too? You know what I mean? Like the whole I want to agree with them, but the whole thing sounds fucking unbelievable. Like none of it sounds possible to me.
Once you start poking holes in left-wing policy, which is very easy to do just by using simple logic, none of it makes sense. Voter ID. I mean, yeah, absolutely. Same
My
thing with
kids
abortion.
can't go to school without a COVID vaccine, and I couldn't eat in a restaurant with the COVID vaccine, but people are pouring in over the border and giving $5,000 cash. So like once you're doing that, anything sounds possible. Like, all right, well, just make shit up. I don't care. We're already at complete absurdity. And here's another thing. If you're going to let in 400,000 people, there's got to be some cohort of rapists and murderers.
Of course. Yeah, of course. But I mean, the moment that you start poking holes in left-wing ideology and policies, just by using simple logic, none of it makes sense. And the response that you get when you try to, counter their ideologies and policies to them is a complete emotional response back. You don't care about people; they're humans too. Blah 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 blah. It's just it's an emotional response that you get back. That's it.
When I worked at CrossFit, when we launched the Open, there were Brazilians who worked for CrossFit at the time, and I remember them saying, "Hey, you guys can't do this," and we're like, "Why?" And they're like, "Well, because you can't have the honor system. People are going to cheat." And we're like, "No, people aren't going to cheat. What are you talking about?" And this Brazilian dude told me that cheating is just part of the culture in Brazil. They don't view it the same way we do. And whether that's true or not, that's another huge thing that we fucking miss in this country. Like, there's totally different cultures. What some cultures might view as foreplay, in our country we might view as rape. And as much as a stretch as that sounds, like, hey man, it's not.
I mean, yeah, you go to a tribe in Africa, they are gonna act and think and eat and pray way differently than we do here in the United States. And so
there are some places where if your brother dies, that night you're supposed to fuck his wife or something, like, and you're supposed to take his wife on. Can you fucking imagine that?
Lovely.
I know.
No, thank you. No, thank you. Not for me.
Well,
that's all I got.
Don't knock it till you try it. Don't be so close-minded.
Oh dear. Oh my goodness. All right.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. If I don't have a brother, I better not. Okay. Where were we? Free healthcare. These fine citizens think that there should be free healthcare, open borders, free food, and free housing for everyone.
Do you think they should
and
allow
how
them?
about all of the people that are already here that are rapists and murderers that are citizens? That doesn't change anything.
So she thinks she's being so clever. She thinks she's being so clever because she's like, well, we already have rapists and murderers. What's another fucking 25,000? What the fuck? And that's the problem. How are you supposed to talk to someone who thinks like that? Hey, those are, we've talked about this before on a fucking micro level. Those are the relationships you want to avoid like the plague. Like if you say to your wife, hey, you left the fridge open, and her first response is, well, you left the car door open. Get out. Get out. Unless she's fucking PMSing, get out. Get out of that fucking relationship. Like that's fucktardia. That's like, those are the fucking worst people to be around. It's like, hold on a minute. We can talk about that too. You should have told me when I left the fucking car door open. I know I shouldn't have left the car door open. That's a mistake. But I'm just telling you, left the fridge open for the 18th time this week.
How about Donald Trump, girl?
Can we kick him out?
Are you defending rapists from other countries?
I am saying that it doesn't matter your citizenship situation. There are already rapists and murderers that are legal.
There's already rapists and murderers here. Why not let in another 25,000? So here's the deal. And until these people are the people, these are the Anna Kasparians of the world. So until she's bending over, picking up dog shit that are dog shit in Los Angeles, and some fucking homeless guy with a heart on rubs it between her butt cheeks. Until that happens to her, it's defend your stupidity until the hard cock reaches your butt crack. That's where we're at.
Here in the U.S.
Should they have let those 13,000 murders in because they vetted them, and then even after knowing they were murders, they let them in?
The argument that you're making is a very different problem than what you're saying right now.
What the fuck?
You know what I mean?
So what am I saying?
So you're saying that we shouldn't let them in because they were
Murderers.
Her friends know she's stupid. I think that girl on the right with the knows that her friend's stupid.
What about the people that are already here?
We know like a lot of illegal immigrants that came into New York.
What about the people that are already here? Are those the people that litter, like they see trash on the ground and they just litter anyway because it's like, well, fuck, there's already trash on the ground? I hope Greg's BSI fucking thing can fix this. Holy shit. Holy shit. And who do you think that those people are voting for? You think those girls are Republicans? You think those people are Kamala supporters? Hey, that reminds me of the people who think it's okay to steal from Target because it's a fucking billion-dollar corporation. It's that same we're in fucking retardville. We are in complete fucking low IQville. I told you guys about the acquaintance of mine who is a fucking crazy power broker in the deep state. Basically he's just completely fucking freaking out.
I don't know if you've seen some of the headlines, Bobby, but over the last few days, there have been some articles written by the mainstream media talking about members, Democrats in Congress and others in the Biden administration who are expressing their grave concern about the fact that President Trump is doing something that has not been done before in what Bobby just talked about, that he has a privately funded transition team that is already getting to work. And they're like, well, how come he's not using taxpayer dollars for this and going through the Government Accountability Office? Something is very wrong here. Well, we should all have hope at how freaked out they are, because we're not allowing Joe Biden's Government Accountability Office to control President Trump's transition team. But this is what we're talking about. They're freaking out because they can't place their moles within the transition team to try to figure out what Donald Trump is doing so that they can spin up their media propaganda machines and try to preempt and undermine the work that we are doing to bring great patriots together to actually fix the government. So the doing things different has already started. And the more you hear these people in Washington that freak out, the more you should know, like, all right, we're doing good. I don't know.
Does somebody put it to her? Does she have a dude? Is she a lesbian? I find her very attractive. I find AOC very attractive too, though. As long as she doesn't talk. God, it's so crazy. The older you get, the more you have a well, maybe it's because my vision's going bad, but the more you have a guard against crazy. No, she's not a lesbian. How dare you? All right. I mean, lesbians are fine. Oh, she loves the cock. All right, fine. She's a CrossFitter. I mean, I think CrossFitter is kind of the home of lesbian women. She just kind of doesn't fit the mold. Like Tulsi's like naturally hot. You know what I mean? She's like I guess she's from Hawaii, right? She's like Hawaii hot. She doesn't have all the fake shit going on. Like the fake titties and the fake lip and fucking 3 pounds of makeup and just like that, you know, that conservative power pussy look. Anyway, freaking out. There's two things I don't understand. Probably someone's going to have to call in and explain these two to me. I don't understand these next two clips I'm going to play. I'm going to have to play a few times. I don't really understand these clips. I wish I knew when this was from. This says it was posted January 6th. Wait, when was this posted? I don't even know when this was posted. But I don't really understand what they're saying here. Is there a court case open right now where Donald Trump may be ineligible, that the Supreme Court is hearing that Donald Trump may be ineligible to be president because he's a convicted felon? Yeah, conservative power pussy. You know what I mean. You know the look. Like the Trump daughters. All the Fox News gals. You know that. Just the big fucking weird titties and the hair that looks like just like they're not like the kind of chicks like you just wake up and like my wife, you just wake up and you just fucking go to a coffee shop with her or whatever. You know what I mean? You know, she just wears a fucking banana. God, my wife has the greatest tops. My wife just wears a spaghetti strap like shirt that's like so fucking thin and underwear and booty shorts, and then that's how she wakes up in the morning and does all the shit in the house for the first 3 hours. You know what I mean? And then she goes to like Pilates or CrossFit or teaches in her garage or something. Like I never see my wife like caking on the makeup or like my wife doesn't get ready. You know what I mean? She's running out the door. You know what I mean? She's not show us your line. It's crazy. It's crazy. My house in the morning is crazy. It's like 3 hours because I wake up and she's asleep, so I don't have time to get a piece. And then although I think more and more it's because the boys are coming in later and later. I think we're about to go through a transition back to the old days. But then I got to fucking go into the fucking house, into the kitchen, and she's in there with the boys and they're like doing school and she's in the kitchen and I'm just fucking coming unhinged looking at her. It's like that every morning. I start eating to displace my desire to mash her. I mean, make sweet love to her. It's a mess. And then it's time to take the boys somewhere. Okay, Sebi. All right, fine. All right. That's enough. All right. Christine says that's enough. All right. Okay. So I think what's happening here is this Senator Rick Hassan, man, he's an ugly fucking dude. I think he went through chemo or something and got it like really fucked him up. And then now he's kind of on the mends. But I think he's saying that there's going to be a Supreme Court ruling after Donald Trump gets elected that's going to make it that he's ineligible to be president and that there's going to be a civil war. I think that's what he's proposing. It's fucking nuts. I think he might be like a ranking member or something.
Last night, I was most worried. about the Supreme Court's prospective imminent abdication of its very clear duty to disqualify Donald Trump from the ballot under Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, and what that might mean if their decision says that it's really up to Congress on January 5th or January 6th, 2025, to disqualify him at the counting of the Electoral College votes, which really could lead to something akin to civil war, if that's what the suggestion is, which is what I think I heard when I went to the oral argument, that they themselves were unwilling to rule whether or not the Colorado Supreme Court was correct in finding that he had engaged in insurrection on January 6, 2021. So it's going to be.
So there's an open case. I mean, we're already in a civil war. We are if you don't realize we're in a full-blown civil war, I don't know what the fuck you're looking at. We're in some sort of cultural war, that's for sure. Between people who refuse to define what a woman or a man is versus those who want to define it or have defined it. But is he saying that, I guess that, so it's not that he's a convicted felon. It's the fact that, is there an open case where he's being charged with an insurrection? Is that what the Jack Smith case is in New York?
Up to us on January 6, 2025, to tell the rampaging Trump mobs that he's disqualified. And then we need.
I've never seen a Trump mob. I wouldn't even consider January 6th a Trump mob. What's a mob? Mob. Mob. M-O-B. Mob. A criminal gang, especially one involved in drug trafficking or extortion. What do you mean by mob? A large and disorderly crowd. I've never seen a mob. I've never seen a conservative mob.
Bodyguards for everybody in civil war conditions, all because the 9 justices, not all of them, but these justices who have not many cases to look at every year, not that much work to do, a huge staff, great protection, simply do not want to do their job. Last night, I was most worried about the Supreme Court's prospective imminent abdication of its very clear duty to disqualify Donald Trump.
Imminent abdication. What's abdication means? To disqualify. Abdication. An act. Imminent. So the Supreme Court's imminent, meaning it's imminent means like for sure coming. Imminent is like imminent means about to happen. So it's going to, he's saying that the act that is for sure going to happen of the Supreme Court
from the ballot under Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, and what that might mean if their decision says that it's really up to Congress on January.
So it's gonna I think what he's saying is, if he's found guilty of an insurrection, then the Supreme Court will have to decide to invoke the 14th Amendment, which is what? It's probably something like you can't be the president if you were involved in a civil war, or no state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens, nor shall the state be deprive any person of life, liberty. I don't know what it is. Grant citizenship to all persons born or naturalized. It must have something to do with overthrowing the government. But he's saying that the Supreme Court will absolutely have to decide on that. And instead of deciding on it, they'll kick it over to Congress, and Congress will have to vote on it. He's not charged with an insurrection. Your January 6th denial is Jedi level. I got to give you credit for sticking to those guns. It's batshit crazy, but impressive. You think that those people going over to the Capitol with an undisclosed amount of FBI agents in the crowd were somehow trying to overthrow the government with no guns or fire or weapons? That's what you think? You think that you think that the nation's capital that wasn't even being protected at all, zero protection. I don't care if you tell me there were 10,000 cops there. There was no protection there. No water cannons. You're telling me that they couldn't protect the state capitol from people who were nonviolent, and that the government was going to be overthrown by those people? But because I don't see that as a government overthrow, because I'm batshit crazy. Is that what you're saying, dude? Can we agree on what you saw happen there? I'll give you all sorts of shit. You want to say that there were guns there? Okay, there were per cap. Okay, so let's say there were guns there. Let's say I tell you that. I give you that. You think that there were more guns there than the normal amount of guns were per average per capita in the state of Washington, D.C.? I think it's a wash. So we're even there. Even if I acquiesce to your demands that there were guns there. You think that the violence at the Capitol that day was greater than the violence just in Washington, D.C. that day? There's no way you can fucking say that. Let's look up January 6th and see how many fucking murders there were in all of D.C. that day. Like, what are you saying, Pat? Explain to me how it was a fucking riot or an attempt to overthrow the government. Let's say they would have burned that whole building down. I still wouldn't give you insurrection. But there wasn't even a single match lit. I didn't even see anyone smoking. Let on top of the fact that all of the Secret Service text messages from that day and the day before have been erased from their phones. Like, dude, what fucking plan? I never said it was a government overthrow. That's what an insurrection is, dude. I said they were crazy morons who broke doors and windows and beat the shit out of cop. Okay, fine. Fine. But relative to what, dude? Relative to the violence that happened in D.C. that day? Relative to what, dude? What you put it in context? When have there ever been the Puerto Rican Day Parade in New York City has way more violence than what happened there? Way more. And that's a parade, dude. The New York City Marathon probably has fucking 50 muggings at it every year. How many muggings happen there? Like, what happened there that makes you think there was insurrection? Because they crossed, and we don't even know exactly how that happened, how they got into the fucking Capitol, dude. Honestly, dude. 150 cops went to the hospital? Okay. All right. Haven't like 6 committed suicide since then, too? Suicide? Hey, that was the only thing. That was the only good thing that happened. Babbitt got shot by one of the officers inside the Capitol. Dude, they should have fucking opened fire on all those fucktards who entered that building. I agree. No one should be entering the Capitol like that. There should be buildings that are protected like people. I think all the civil servants should be protected. But you have to ask yourself, why weren't they? Okay, point Sevy. I fucked you up right there. I fucked you up good right there. I fucked you up so good. That's good. Lick your wounds and just hang out for a second, Pat.
A fifth.
Think of us. We're in between rounds, Pat. I won that one. That's a 10-7 round. You don't see that very often in fighting. 10-7, Sevy.
For January 6, 2025, to disqualify him at the counting of the Electoral College votes, which really could lead to something akin to civil war. If that's
I don't understand the counting of electoral votes there. Why is he putting that in there too? Oh, no, you didn't? I didn't win that? You don't think I won that 10-7? Tell me where I was flawed. Tell me how I didn't win that. I fucked that up. I fucking crushed him right there. There were too many undercover agents in the crowd. That's why. We and what's crazy is I was just watching last week them interview the FBI about it. They will not reveal how many agents were in the crowd. It's crazy.
what the suggestion is, which is what I think I heard when I went to the oral argument, that they themselves were unwilling to rule whether or not the Colorado Supreme Court was correct in finding that he had engaged in insurrection.
Oh, so it is insurrection. So the Colorado State Court was unwilling to rule whether it was an insurrection. So this guy thinks it's going to be kicked down to Congress. And then the Congress then will say he's not the president because it was an insurrection. But I don't.
On January 6, 2021. So it's going to be up to us on January 6, 2025 to tell the rampaging Trump mobs that he's disqualified. And then we need bodyguards for everybody in civil war conditions, all because the 9 justices, not all of them, but these justices who have not many cases to look at every year, not that much work to do, a huge staff, great protection, simply do not want.
He's saying that the Supreme Court doesn't have a lot to do and that they have great protection. They have fucking horrible protection. We already established that last year when the fucking mobs gathered around their houses. Politicians, you're not allowed even to do that. And politicians were fucking protesting at fucking Supreme Court justices' homes
to do their job. Last night, I was most worried about the Supreme Court's prospective imminent abdication of its very clear duty to disqualify Donald Trump from the ballot.
Okay, so he's saying that the Supreme Court has a duty that they're going to do to disqualify Trump from running for being the president.
Under Section 3 of the 14th Amendment. And
Section 3, 14th Amendment. He said Section 3. I'm listening better each time. No person shall be a senator or representative in Congress or elector of the president and vice president or hold any office, civil or military, under the United States or under any state who have previously taken an oath as a member of Congress or as an officer of the United States or as a member of any state. That doesn't even make sense to me. What is Section 3? What are the 3 clauses? 14th Amendment, Wikipedia. Section 3. Oh, disqualification. Oh, here it is. Oh, okay. Here it is. No person shall be a senator or representative in Congress or elector of president and vice president or hold any office, civil or military, under the United States or under any state who have previously taken an oath as a member of Congress or as an officer of the United States or as a member of any state legislature or as any executive or judicial officer of any state to support the Constitution of the United States shall have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the same or given aid or comfort to enemies thereof. But which is crazy, right? Because Kamala Harris fucking raised money to get people out of jail who were fucking overthrowing the fucking government in Minnesota. They burned down the fucking police station there. And she gave aid and comfort to those enemies of the state. But Congress may, by a vote of 2/3 of each house, remove such a disability. Okay, so that's what he's saying. Okay, and there's one more thing. So that's what he's saying. Though I don't understand why he brings up the Electoral College in this. Let's watch this.
What that might mean if their decision says that it's really up to Congress on January 5th.
So now he's saying, Congress, we're not going to decide whether Trump broke the 14th Amendment, Section 3. We're going to kick it over to Congress.
For January 6, 2025, to disqualify him at the counting of the Electoral College.
Okay, so after the Electoral College is counted, wow. Took me a while to fucking figure that out. Thanks for bearing with me. All right. Wow. That's intense. I figured it out. Does everyone get it? I got it. Do I need to explain it again? Or are we good? We're moving on. I think we're moving on. Okay, that's going to be interesting. What did you say? Go to Andrew Hiller? HillerFit. Okay. 82,000 followers. Okay. Damn, Andrew's fucking kicking ass. Man, his followers are savage. He's like a little mini goob. He's like our own. He's not even a mini goob. He's our own personal goob. Massive Sporty Beth news coming. Oh. What the fuck? Oh, you think that they're going to do you think they're going to do, I bet you they're going to do a collab. I think she's going to come on the show. That's totally my fucking guess. Let's see if I can, let's see if I have Hiller's number. Okay. What a fun show. I've been late a lot lately, huh? I noticed like my timing's off in the mornings. Daniel Wynn, Trump was already charged and tried for incitement of insurrection and acquitted. I know, but they're going to try him again under. He's not answering. And my phone's not working. All right, he's probably training one of his fancy clients. I know, but so I think what happened, I forget the details now, but Jack Smith tried him for insurrection, and the Supreme Court ruled. Oh, here we go. I now remember. Okay, so the Supreme Court ruled that you can't charge a president with a crime if it involves the duties of being president. So you can't charge him for killing the leader of Iran if he felt like the leader of Iran was a threat to the United States. So that would be his job, to kill the leader of Iran. So you couldn't charge him for it, right? Or it would be like if a cop broke into a CVS to get a Band-Aid or a tourniquet for someone who was bleeding out. You couldn't charge the cop with that crime. I don't know if this is a real law, but it's a simile. The cop could go in there and grab the tourniquet to save a life, and the duties of his job is to save a life, so he couldn't be charged for that crime. It's like that. So then what Jack Smith is doing is he's reworking the case so that to show that the insurrection wasn't part of his duty, or that not his insurrection, but what he calls insurrection, that the January 6th parade was not only an insurrection, he's going to have to prove that, but was done with Donald Trump's own personal benefits at hand. Meaning, if Donald Trump killed Melania because she found out Melania was fucking banging RFK, totally plausible. RFK's all juiced up. She gets around him. Her pussy gets wet. He puts his D in her. We know he likes chicks. And Donald Trump killed him. Being president wouldn't protect him from being charged with that, because that would be a personal killing. Get it? So there's that. Oh shit, Pat, I KO'd Pat and he stood up and he's walking around now the ring. Look at that, stumbling around. You have to prove intent. Yeah, is that what it is? Yeah, what he said, what Mr. Seth said from Jump Ship Training. Terrible example. What are you talking about? Bro, that was a great example. Which one? The one where Melania fucks RFK or the cop with the tourniquet? Daniel, when you can charge all of those things if you impeach and convict first. If you impeach him. I don't know. I don't think so. I'm trying to think the sequencing on that. Obama murder U.S. citizen with a drone without a trial. I think that is different. I think the law is that you, well, up until last month when Biden changed the law, but I think the law when Obama was president is you can't use the U.S. military to kill citizens, and he did. Not if Republicans have the House, but Matt Burns, what I was reading there, said that they would need a 2/3 majority. So, and they're definitely not going to get that. You guys want to do one more thing that needs to be explained to me? This next one's a fucking head fuck. Complete head fuck. Obama was and is untouchable. I don't know. I think the black man is now like the white man. I think they have. I think enough black men have gotten off the plantation to where now they're just lumped up as toxic males now. They're no. The black guy is almost completely out of the protected class. So I don't know. Yeah, of course, and there's all of that. Obama incited violence too. Obama turned fucking the public on the cops with some of his fucking statements. It was crazy. And so did Biden by just assuming Chauvin was guilty. Or was it Kamala's Biden, Maxine Waters, Pelosi, etc. political duty to incite the months of violence, destruction, and death during the summer of love 2020? I would assume not. Yeah. I mean, not a black Democrat, only black Republicans. Yeah, of course. Trans is the new black. Yeah, for sure. I think the gays want out too. Oh yeah, Andrew said he's with the client. Can you take all the boys to piano at 11 a.m.? Oh yeah, of course. Yes. Oh yeah. I'm going to have a piano update for you guys. I'm taking the boys to piano today. I don't know if you saw the Glinton Thing podcast, but today's the first day since I revealed that story, and I'll be going to piano. I was gay once. I don't think that's enough to get into the protected class. Oh, Ken confirmed. This is from our one black listener. I'm just joking. We have lots of black listeners. I've been called a toxic masculine man by white women. I am disproportionately, when I go out to public events, I'm disproportionately approached by black people and lesbians. It's really trippy. They love the show. And the show loves them. All right. I don't know if I should do this next one. It's going to take a fucking lot of brain horsepower to figure out. Is tomorrow Friday? Tomorrow's guest is going to be wild. Tomorrow's guest doesn't even want to have their face shown. They're still in the military, and they have crazy stories about Bagram. It's going to be wild. I'm going to have to do a lot of research today and get brushed up on all my Bagram shit. On November 12th, we'll be announcing the winners of the video contest when Chris Cooper from Two Brain is coming on. He'll also be presenting the State of the Industry report. That's cool. I think Shut Up and Scribble's on today. Isn't that a Thursday show? I don't understand why they don't schedule them so people can see. Oh, what did you guys think about the dense updates? That was some good shit, right? I wonder how that's doing. I think that show is going to be fucking crazy popular. How do I go to YouTube? Let me see how that show's doing, view-wise. Videos. Oh, yeah, that show's killing. That show's killing. Here's some comments. Someone wrote, Housewives of CrossFit, drama, pure entertainment. That was in regards to Denise's show. Love this video. Great. That's a dense. That's another. It just keeps getting better. Love the update and look forward to more updates. Man, people love her show. We're stoked to have the show. Awesome. Had a feeling this was the big announcement. Congrats on the show. Thank you. Someone wrote, the Danielle Brandon conversation starts at 9:30. I hate it when people do that. This makes me glad I don't have Instagram. The shoes that Rad sent didn't even fit. Someone wrote, my thoughts exactly. Someone wrote, when all the sport had was Matt dominating and Tia versus Loria, we needed Danielle Brandon. But now that the men's field is entertaining personality-wise and folks like Gabby, Gazan, Shelby, Fish, etc., we really don't need to overinflate Danielle Brandon as a personality. I, for one, have been bored of her since 2022. I have not been bored of her. Clydesdale Media. Jenny, I'm so happy for you. Congrats on getting these on Sevon's platform. As I've told you before, you are a must-watch for me to help sort out my viewing. I hope everyone else finds you a must-watch as well. That's from Scott Schweitzer. Sporty Danielle, like Sporty Beth, the blue pill crowd. No, Danielle's not a blue pill. Come on. Someone's telling the backstory on Sporty Beth. Someone wrote, I don't like Taylor most of the time, but he's absolutely right in this episode. Danielle Brandon's a bully and loves to play victim to get her way. What did she do to Annika? When will everyone understand if you put yourself out in the world using social media, that opens the door to be mocked and criticized? It's not bullying. Nobody secretly recorded Unsporty Beth. Where's John Young been? I heard John Young's going to the Grid League. Dude, can you imagine how good that's going to be for Grid to have John there? That means we're all going to start watching Grid. That's so funny. Someone's looking for Keith Mano and John Steinbeck's essays. I don't know where those are. Someone wrote, agents are like leeches. How could you possibly look up to someone for profiteers of other people's hard work? Here's the thing, man, about agents. I could not do this show without Souza at all. Like, at all. I would not. I could not. And so if you're someone like, let's take Jeffrey Adler. You have to imagine his commitment to his fucking training and his lifestyle are just absolutely insane, right? Or Roman even as a kid. So he has to have a fucking agent. He has to have someone who in a 10-minute conversation can be like, hey, I got you this deal. All you have to do is wear this suntan lotion and they'll give you $3,000 a month for the next year. Do you want to do it? And then Roman or Jeff can be like, sure, no problem. You have to have someone. You have to have a good agent. You have to. You don't have any time for that shit. You don't have any time for that shit. Souza has so much to do on this show. After every fucking show, he then has to insert all of the ads from like all the weird ads we have, like, you know, like gambling companies and cigarette companies and just whatever the fucking companies we have. And then and then he has to make sure he collects the money, and he has to make sure the contracts are signed, and he has to make sure the people who work for the Sevon podcast get paid, and he has to fly. He has to fly places, and if you have to do an ad read, which he has to do probably at least one a week, he has to do the ad reads. That's where like a sponsor that's like a gaming platform will be like, hey, will you say that you love the gaming platform and that your favorite game is Grand Theft Auto? He has to do all that shit. You have to have someone has to do all that. So that like in a minute here, I'm gonna take my kids to piano class, and I'm gonna swing by the gas station, and I'm gonna fill up my tank of gas. And like, if it wasn't for Suze, I wouldn't have gas to put in my car. Someone has to do that. So I don't know. I can't completely like just discredit agents. I mean, they're so these people can commit. Taylor and Angelo need a podcast called The Uncancellables. Yeah, that's cool. Love this quick format about Denise's updates, dense updates. How come people are so soft when it comes to satire? Like everyone is going to give Grant a hard time about making a Sporty Beth piece. Yet as mentioned, everyone's okay about what she's putting out, and everything she puts out is garbage. I want her to go away from the fitness space. I don't, but I understand the sentiment. I love this podcast. Danielle is slowly blocking the listeners of the show, including myself. I didn't even offend her. I'm still a fan of hers, regardless of her blocking me. Open the regionals, then the games was definitely all right. How did Rad fuck over JR? You know, Adam Klink sent a really fucking long, sweet message to Taylor, basically explaining all the details of what went wrong with Rad and JR. And one of them is crazy compelling. One of the things he said is that, hey, the shoes were supposed to arrive, but because of the hurricane, all the delivery trucks were consumed with taking supplies to the hurricane victims. And so the fucking whole postal service, FedEx, UPS, all that shit got fucked up because everyone was taking supplies to people who were in dire need. When I heard that, I was like, fuck. You can't blame Rad for that. Someone wrote, this show promotes so much political crap. Go back to the old days before you had those people on. Hold the politics at the door. Can't watch this show anymore. Then someone wrote, cut the cult-like political crap. And then someone said, I'm sure they'll miss you watching. It's not the show for you anyway, since you suffer from intolerance. Someone wrote soft. Someone else wrote bye-bye. CrossFit needs more personalities and banter. I think this is the dig. You get about 60 seconds before Sevon starts talking about trans people and liberals. It blows my mind how fragile the games athletes' coping mechanisms are, as well as their inflated sense of worth. In my opinion, it's these athletes that are rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic. Yeah. All right. Yeah, Jenny's show, the Dense Update show. Jenny, Denise, call her what you want. Her show is going to fucking kill. We're so fucking lucky. That's going to be a fucking crazy evolution she's going to go through. It's going to be like Hiller if she stays with it. All right, guys. Love you guys. I will see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow morning show is going to be fucking absolutely wild. I'll see you guys then. And then this weekend, we'll probably do a reset and get ready for all the coverage for Rogue. That's going to be, talk about losing some sleep. Because I think the hours are all fucked up because they're in Scotland. They're 8 hours ahead. Sevon, keep the politics and wide breadth of topics. It keeps things interesting, current, and relevant. Yeah, Don asked me the first time I met with him when he first became CEO, we were out at coffee, and he said, why are you bringing the culture wars into your content? And it's like, man, dude, I lost my job because of, like, one of the reasons I lost my job was because of that fucking New York Times article and those fucking some athletes saying I'm out and posting shit about me. So it's like, hey, man, it is what it is. And I have kids. And I was like, hey, dude, you have 3 daughters. Like I'm not gonna just sit here idly by and as Greg would say, just talk about thruster races. I mean, I like the thruster races are cool. I like hot dudes and hot chicks. I like health and fitness, but you know, I'm just gonna do me. All right, love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye bye.